Welcome to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm so excited for season 2 and the great guests you're going to hear from, their struggles, how they overcame their struggles, their triumphs. Through personal and business life, I think they're tied together, and we're going to share great stories about that. This show isn't just about me. It takes a lot of good people working with me. Among them is my partner, H7 Network, and Clay Hicks. Building relationships, building community is the mission of H7 Network. They want to create a network of champions where everybody wins. Find out more at h7network.com. And we hope to motivate you, inspire you, and educate you through our show. Enjoy the show. We'll talk to you on the other side. Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Hearts podcast show. And this is your host, Steve Ramona. And I'm going to love this show because I love what he's going to talk about. Sales. I love selling now that I've learned how to do a little bit better. But it's one of the most important things for your business. If you don't get sales, you're probably not going to stay in business. Right, Daryn?
Right. Yeah. Thanks for having me on, Steve. I'm looking forward to a great conversation and be interested to see where it goes. But, sales really ties in with the title of your podcast, Servant's Heart, and sales is all about giving. And so to sell is to give. So I'm pretty excited about that.
I love that you said that because that's what I teach people all the time. Serving. Well, I need money. Sales will come. And it's happening to me. I mean, and we'll talk about later. It's not about me today, but I've seen that. We just can't put like sales. You can go, hey, my goal is $10,000 in sales this month. That's a scoreboard. But you can't do that with serving. Like, I'm going to give Daryn 20 referrals and he's going to give me 20 back. Right. Delve into servant leadership with sales. I'd love to get your input.
Say that again.
Sir, so what's your thought on servant leadership tied to sales?
Yeah. So, traditional selling, the way we teach and the way we believe is a little different than, way traditional people think and try to do sales. So we really have a way to really progress in a giving communication style and not putting pressure on people, not forcing them to do anything that they don't want to do. Not being that, a stereotypical pushy, type of salesperson that no one likes, we don't want to be a pest. So our communication style is, the way that majority of people want to be treated, right? And if you're giving them the way they want to be treated, and I would say the majority of people almost always want to feel okay about themselves. They want to make sure they feel, that they're making the right decisions, that the solution is going to be right for their problem. And a sales professional that understands and can do that sells a lot. And that's really what the servant relationship is in sales. Is it's not for me to push my product. It's for me to help them discover that my product is what they need and that it will help them. And that's the giving portion, right? So it's the giving portion that is helping them discover that my product is the right solution for their problem.
So. Well said. Yeah, I love that. And then now we've done this and figured out we all need sales, which people need to be reminded of that. Let's talk about what you do. You have a franchise and you help businesses with their sales. Let's kind of get in detail more on what you do.
Sure. That's a big statement. So big area, but I'm an associate for a franchise. So we have I think 9 of us in our franchise throughout Michigan. So the process is really we help anywhere from individual solopreneurs to fairly large sales teams, and really kind of create a customized sales program because every salesperson is different. So everyone picks up a little bit of what they need when they need it, and it's really an ongoing We call it ongoing reinforcement training, which is, the best salespeople and the people that have the most success with our system really commit about an hour and a half to 2 hours a week with us. And, really ongoing training, kind of like golf lessons. We were talking a little bit about golf as we were just, making sure our technology was right today. And, you need to play, you need to practice just like anything else. And I think in sales, the professionals that commit to that are the ones that are the most successful because they're practicing, and you have to practice sales, and you have to practice with others, and you have to know how you want your prospect to react so that you can make the right communication going forward, like I mentioned before. And if it's right, things happen pretty easily from the communication.
Yeah, and I like that because we have business plans with businesses. Essential
Mm-hmm.
sales program. I love that because a lot of people just say, "Hey, sales guys, go cold call, jump on the phone, make sale." You're much different. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, way different. You still have to do that.
Yeah.
We believe in cold calling, but the way we do it, we try to get it to what would be called a warm call. But you can do that really on a cold call within the first probably 8 to 10 seconds, if you know what to say. And so we call it a no pressure prospecting call, and it really turns it into an easy conversation. And if the conversation's right, then it progresses to where you need to take your sales process, for your product. And but the process is something you really need to figure out. I like you were kind of mentioning, and on the video, it kind of looks like hey, just wing it, right? Here's a list, here's a phone, make calls, try to figure it out. And you really don't want to do that. You want to take as much time early on, learning a script, basically a talk track, so you know where you're at and how to get through it, and then plan and be real strategic of who you're calling, why you're calling, when you're calling, and really go through that process. And eventually, over time, it might not be immediate success, but over time you get to measure your results, and then you make some adjustments, and eventually you should have what we call a cookbook, which means if you know exactly how many dials you need to make, how many emails you need to send, how many LinkedIn, how many text messages, how many face-to-face, like you're walking in the street or grocery store or at a hotel or wherever, and you meet people in line or just in general passing, that should lead to certain results for you. And therefore you're doing it on purpose.
I like what you said, just cold call and figure it out. I call that figuring out the bankruptcy
Yep, there you go.
because you won't make it. So a client comes in, pretend I have a company, I've got a sales team of 5 people. They kind of walk through the journey, what a company would expect if somebody's listening, how you kind of walk them through the process. You don't have to give all the secret sauce, but kind of the journey onboarding.
Yeah, the journey is one is first we've already done what we call a sales survey, so we understand each individual and where they feel like their problems are. So it's a pretty easy little document where they self-rank themselves. So that would be done before we even agree to work together. If we agree after that it's worth continuing the journey before we actually sign on to work together, then we do an assessment. So it's a behavioral assessment so that we know that they're coachable, that they're open, that they're really gonna show up for the 2 hours a week, and that they're gonna practice, and that they want to change. And and the other thing is, it also helps us with the sales leaders or the leaders of the company, help to have better communication and help them coach their employees in different situations, because we'll know how they're going to act and behave in certain situations. So that assessment is really key, and it's also key to understanding where are they going to most likely run into problems when they're talking with their suspects or the prospects, right? So you got to know yourself first, and once we've completed that and there's agreement to come on and be clients and do business together, then we have a basically a year-long commitment or longer, just depending on the company and the size. But for a small team, like you mentioned, 5 people, about the first 12 weeks is just the foundational material of Sandler. And that gives you a good overview of all the material, of what you're going to need to practice and learn and maybe put into your current processes. Some things you probably already do, some things you probably don't do. And you'll try things and see what works. And some things might not work, so you don't have to do all of it. But the things that can help you, and if you try them, then that's where you're actually putting the training to use. So you're learning, you're changing, and you're becoming a better sales professional in that. And then after about the first 12 weeks, then we call it mastery, is really just doing a deep dive into the material, and that's where you really get to practice. You really get to try to understand the material. You get to recognize, and there's a couple different ways. A public training, which is in a group of peers, a lot of different industries. You get to see what they're going through, what they're not going through, how they handle certain situations, because typically we all run into the same problems, but just at different times, no matter what the product is, no matter what the company is. So if you can learn something from somebody else and recognize something and how to use, something that you learned in class and it works. And so now when you get in the heat of the battle, and I call the battle just the communication, right? Moving the business forward. Now they have those new tools that they can use. They can ask better questions. They can give better information. They can provide different solutions. They can give the coaching. They can give the leadership that they need, and really be the servant that we talked about earlier when we first opened, right? So that takes a lot of, I don't want to say a lot of time, but it takes a lot of time and a lot of commitment, right? You have to be committed. You have to be convinced that the material is good and that it's helping you change as a sales professional or business owner, so that you can manage your team better and the team can sell more and make more money. Business can stay in business. They can make the profits, and so forth. So there's a lot to put together. Typically, after about the first year, we really get a lot of comments like, why didn't I have this 20 years ago? Why didn't we start this when we started our company?
Yeah.
Right? Because it is that powerful. I'm maybe a little biased, but I really believe in my system and the material and the information, and it's been trusted for many years through millions of people and thousands of companies, globally. So that would be, kind of a typical, move through their sales training.
Yeah, and I like that you make sure they're a fit too. That's so important, because we say we want to work with everyone, we just can't.
No,
there's so many different variables, and you find that out ahead of time, so you don't waste their time. You don't waste your time. That's a waste, but you don't move forward and go, this is not a fit.
Exactly.
It's just not good when it happens. How big is accountability to your program?
Oh, I think accountability is probably the eventually the most important. I think it takes a while to get to accountability, and I think you have to do accountability right. If the salespeople have a little say into what they're going to be accountable for, then the leadership team and the managers will have a little bit easier time with the sales professionals, and then they can commit to the business plan, the business model, the sales process of making the company run, of making the profits, right? And that commitment, the accountability, isn't so much for the company. It's not so much for the sales managers, but it's really for the individual. It's, they have to be accountable to themselves, right? If you're breaking promises with yourself, you're never going to make it doing what you want to do, and it'll always be failing. So So accountability is there. Now, if you have an accountability partner, if you have an accountability manager, you want to, you really have to do what you say you're going to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so important. Before I forget, I want to make
Sure.
sure you do a shout out, because you could put some nuggets out there. And now people are listening, going, "Yeah, I guess I need help with sales, or sales are important." How can they
Yeah.
find you, Daryn?
Yeah. I'm on LinkedIn. Daryn Lawson, Daryn, Lawson, Lawson. Easy way. Not too involved in Facebook, but my email is Daryn, Daryn dot Lawson, Lawson at Sandler, Sandler.com. And phone number would be 248-971-0760. And right now, about 20 miles just kind of northwest of Detroit, in Troy, Michigan. And really, I really take care of the Grand Rapids, Michigan area, the West Michigan side.
Awesome. Well, we'll do this too. I'm going to put, because I love sales and I love what you're doing. I'm
Awesome.
learning all about it. I'm going to offer 3 Amazon $25 gift cards to the first 3 people that reach out to you. So listeners,
awesome.
when you reach out, mention this name, my name, or the podcast, or both. You probably forget one of them, probably my name. You'll remember the podcast. Doesn't matter. When you mention it, Daryn will get a hold of me and I'll get your contact information. I'll send you on a gift card. That's how much it means to me in sales, but also means to you as a listener to get help with this. And I guess we could say, Daryn, that majority of the problems of companies going under is not enough sales.
Yeah, for sure. Bottom line, it's all about sales, and the people that are in business and in sales and running companies, and sales is really the production of the company. So without sales, you don't have products, you don't have services, you don't have monthly recurring revenue. You don't have any of those models, whether you're online or whether you're doing it in person or you're doing it retail. So you have to have some sort of big sales vehicle to make it. There's lots of different companies out there, but it's just really about believing in your company and asking the right questions and giving back to the people that really need your services.
Giving back's key. So interesting. I like to bring out some interesting things about my guest. You're a golf instructor, or were,
yeah,
right?
I was a full-time golf instructor for 26 years.
So
PGA.
Yeah, and that tells me that you've been coaching for a while. Doesn't matter if it's golf or sales, right? You have experience.
Yeah, I have been a lot of different personalities, a lot of different um, industries I've seen. I've met a lot of different income levels, all sorts of different things. And so it forced me to really be able to communicate with a variety of different personalities and behavioral styles, and be able to know when to coach, when to teach, when to listen, and when to help them figure out what their real problem is, and how to kind of self-correct.
Yeah.
So I bring a lot of my golf instruction to my sales instruction, because it is about asking the right questions and doing a diagnosis and being able to explain it, and being able to do it. So you have to have all those elements to really help. I didn't talk about this yet, but really any type of training, whether it's sales training or anything else, is as adults, it's really about accelerating our learning. So it's nothing magic. We're not creating any new words. We're not doing anything like that. But we're really helping other adults accelerate what they need to learn, because we're not doing this as a kid. So we need to learn from other adults. We need to learn from good material. We need to learn in a somewhat uniform fashion that makes sense, and we can piece it together and really start to use it and apply it. And that's what I did in my golf career. I do in my sales career, so that when you leave a conversation with me, you really understand what's going on, and how to try to change and get better.
Yeah. And it's interesting, listeners out there, if you're not into golf, PGA professionals are a business. Each one of those guys, McElroy, Home, Johnson, they're a business themselves. So you really were training a business, even though you're training about golf. You're their
Hmm.
skill set, right?
Yeah, for sure. I had to build my market. I had to build my students. I had to build, repeat customers. I had to, market. I had to, when I did different clinics, there was different programs, different events. It all boils down to uh, helping the individual.
Yeah.
And whether it's through a clinic or individual lessons, that was the main goal, is to help as many people as I could, and thus being a servant and giving.
Yeah, thank you. And I appreciate you saying that, because I brought that up kind of, and just because, you go
Mm-hmm.
off to sales, but I always tell people, when you're a human, if you go out to somebody and they've been coaching for 3 months, never owned a business, never done sales, and they're a sales coach, okay, they still could be good. But here you've got 26 years experience. I'm going to put you on the spot. You've been
Mm-hmm.
doing sales training for 26 years. It's just two different industries. Makes a
Yeah,
difference.
and in between, titles and
Yeah.
I had some growth in learning business to business sales with a couple global technology companies, and so I have the global enterprise background, so I understand that, versus the little small business, and uh, and I also was a vice president of a small recruiting company
Mm.
that worked with engineers. So I understand the engineering background. I understand what they go through as engineers, and testing, and getting a product developed and built, and all that is super important to what I do now, because uh, we teach a variety of industries. So I have to bring all that together. And I was a franchise owner, so in my background. So I've done a lot. I've built my golf business as a franchise owner. I've been in global technology sales, and for the last 4 years, I've been doing Sandler sales training, which is really, for me, the best of both worlds. I
Oh,
get to teach and I get to sell.
amen.
So,
That's
so
so
it's good.
true. And the recruiting side, I mean, that's another big part of a business. You don't have
Hmm.
sales, you don't have employees, you're gonna fail. So
Yeah,
good employees. You could have employees, but recruiting the right employee.
exactly.
What is one mistake businesses make when they're trying to do sales? Set up a sales program.
Well, I think the biggest mistake that I see is that they try to allow um, everyone to do it their way and try to figure it out. And they really don't have a process. You couldn't go into an accounting department as an accountant and do it your way, right? But in
Yeah.
sales, everyone, people that fall into sales are somewhat, call it, dropped into sales, just because there's no other choice or avenue they go to, and they say, "Oh, I could make some money. I'll go work for this company and go into sales." So again, they're kind of winging it. But then the sales manager, and I'm saying this just in general, allows, if they have a sales team of 8, allows those 8 individuals to operate individually, and then the sales manager tries to manage 8 individual people, instead of really giving them a good communication style, a good process, um, making sure they understand the process, making sure they follow the process, and then managing the process. And that's when that happens, companies are very efficient. Things happen the way they should in a sales department.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest thing, is that they don't give enough time and effort to put the full sales process in. And
Eh,
that also goes with, like, the commission structure and the days off,
Yeah.
and how they run their calendar and how they assign territories, and um, they unfortunately, it is a big task for a lot of companies to do that, and that's what they're really learning. But they also have to produce, and they have to market, and they have to manage employees, and they have to do their accounting, and they have, so there's all these other things, and then sales gets pushed back even more, because they just think, sales are just going to happen, and we're going to do great. We got a great product, we got a great company, we got a great market, but they don't give enough time to really refining and helping that sales process, and that whole world.
I like you said process multiple times, because that's
Mm-hmm.
important. watched a show called with Marcus Lemonis called The Profit, and he has the 3 P's: people, product, and process.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, the first two are always there. The process, the ones that, and the people won't budge on it.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad you said that, because it's hard, but with somebody like you, Daryn, it's not hard. Let's come in 6 months, year, whatever time you need. Let's build your process for your company, and they're
Right.
set.
Yeah, I think that the process is hard uh, for people to adapt and open up to, just because they're not open
Yeah.
to that. So if they can open up and go like, this might be good. How can I use this for my company? How can we do this? And then take away the negative of putting in a process. It's not about micromanaging,
Yes.
right? No one likes to be micromanaged. That's not what it is. It's to build an efficient company that makes profit. Profit allows you to do things as a business, and salespeople are responsible for selling at a profit.
Yeah. No,
So,
kind of important. Yeah. And you hear,
well,
and I hear businesses, you probably hear this too, but
yeah,
Daryn, I've been doing it for 10 years this way, but you have no sales.
exactly.
Or it worked before and things have changed, and, they need to come in. And I mean, I love this, man. Can we do part two? Because we've just hit
Oh, for sure.
the tip of the iceberg on this. I know
For,
hearing
for
you
sure.
talk, yeah, there's a lot more. We'll bring him back. You'll be able
Okay,
to listen
cool.
to him more
I'd enjoy that.
about sales, because I do love. So you can tell I love sales. I get excited
Yeah,
about, because it's a necessary evil, whether you like it or not.
yeah. It is.
Thank you
It
for
is.
being on the show. Thank you for being so transparent and just bringing knowledge about sales. Again, reach out to him. Earn a darn Amazon gift card. I just sold you for free.
There you go.
$25. You might be able to buy a mug. I don't know. But
That's
with
awesome.
that being said, you've been awesome. Can I have one more favor?
Sure.
Can you give my audience, or have a tip that's really helped you that could help them?
Yeah, Steve. Well, I appreciate you, giving the gift cards and having people reach out and having me on the show again today. Definitely want to do a part two, maybe part three. Who knows where
Yeah.
it'll go? But I like you, so thanks for being a new friend. And so the tip that I would give is anytime you're going out and about to have a sales conversation, a business conversation. Um, and really even a conversation with a friend or a family member, uh, just try to really take a little bit of time at the very beginning to make sure you're clear about why and what's going to happen throughout the time you're together, so that things will go smoothly. So today we're on a podcast. It's going to be about 25 minutes, maybe 35 minutes. I'm not even sure what the time is. I wasn't paying attention to that. But to share some knowledge about sales, give some tips, understand a little bit about business, right? So we set that up and we knew what was going on, and hopefully we provided that and we gave that, being the servant, and we gave our knowledge and we shared our experiences, and you asked great questions. So I appreciate that. And I think that's the one key that would really propel any communication going forward, even tomorrow. Just try to be a little more clear of why you want to talk to someone, what you want the end result to be, and if you can start to do that, your meetings, your conversations will change instantly, and that would be good.